Hi everyone, and welcome to this video where we will be walking through a problem where there is a disposal of a plant asset. Let's hop over to the computer now and look at it together. On your screen, we have a problem involving Alexander Company, and Alexander purchased a piece of equipment for $14,000 and depreciated it for 3 years over a 5-year estimated life with an expected residual value at the end of 5 years of $2,000. At the end of the third year, so they were planning on owning this thing for 5 years. Midway through that time period, at the end of the third year, Alexander decided to upgrade the equipment with increase upgrade to equipment with increased capacity, and they sold the original piece of equipment for $7,500. Our job here is to figure out if there was a gain or a loss on the sale of the old equipment. Okay, so let's figure this out. Um, they bought the asset for $14,000. So we need to figure out how much this asset had depreciated at the time of sale. So the original cost was $14,000, and we know that our formula for straight line depreciation is equal to the initial asset value, which we know can include both transportation and installation charges. From that, we're going to subtract the estimated residual value, and we'll divide that whole thing by estimated useful life. All right. So this company, their straight line depreciation on this asset was equal to $14,000 minus a residual value of $2,000. And that asset was expected to last 5 years. So our SLD calculation is $12,000 divided by 5 years. And when you do 12,000 divided by 5, you get $2,400 per year. $2,400 straight line depreciation per year. Okay, and now we have the information we need to figure this out. So if we think about this, they bought the company, or I'm sorry, they bought the asset. Start, right? The asset had a value of, let's say, $14,000. And then at the end of year one, they recorded depreciation of $2,400, which reduced the asset's value by 2,400. So 14,000 minus 2,400. Now the asset is worth 11,600. Year two, they also recorded $2,400 of depreciation again, and this reduces the asset value another 2,400. So now it's worth 9,200. And then this asset was sold at the end of the third year. They say up here it's at the end of the third year, which means they record the depreciation for year three, 2,400. And so now the asset is worth $6,800. All right. And then it's at this point they decide to sell the asset for $7,500. All right. So the gain is, or the gain, or I'm going to put in parentheses the loss. So if we get a negative number, that's going to indicate that we have a loss. The gain or loss here is equal to the sale price minus the book value at the time of sale. And so the gain or loss, if this is negative, is equal to 7,500 sale price minus a book value of $6,800, which we just calculated above. And so this is going to give us a positive number, and so we have a gain of $700 on this asset. Okay, so that answers the question. If you wanted to do the journal entry for this, it's very straightforward. So we would say debit cash for 7,500. That's the cash we got for selling this asset. We have to also decrease the value, or we need to get rid of accumulated depreciation. So this accumulated depreciation number is equal to the $2,400 per year times 3 years, or $7,200. 7,200, and I got this by saying $2,400 depreciation per year times 3 years that we owned it. And so those are our debits, and then we have a credit to the equipment asset, and so this was just equipment, right, Alexander? Yeah. So this was a credit to the equipment asset, which is a plant asset, and the value of the equipment was the original 14,000. And then our last credit here would be to the gain that we just calculated for $700. So let's make sure we have the right answer here. So 7,500 plus 7,200, that is $14,700. The total of this is 14,700 on the debit side, and then that's the same amount that we have on the credit side, 14,700. So this is the correct answer here. So make sure you know how to calculate the gain or loss, and make sure you're comfortable doing this journal entry. All right, well, that concludes this video. Hopefully you found it helpful, and I will talk to you real soon. Take care.